Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a whistle from start to finish. And so the point of this project is making two functional whistles. And I have my two functional whistles already made. So I have my sloth who is hanging out with a tree and it's starting to dry a little bit. And then I have a mouse holding some cheese right here, and the whistle part is right here. And the whistle part is right here on the sloth one. And this one sounds like, and then the mouse one right here sounds like this. So they're sounding different, and that's due to size. So no two whistles will sound exactly alike. All right, so first thing you guys need to do is get some clay and roll it out using one thickness stick on each side. And so I went ahead and rolled out my slab because I needed it to firm up just a little bit before I start trying to work with it and make it whistle. So you cannot have your clay being, too floppy or anything. Like you want it to firm up a bit, especially this part of it. The other thing you need to do is make a smallish pinch pot. So it fits nicely in the palm of my hand. It's not too large, it's not too small. It's just a smallish, but not too small pinch pot. Okay, so I have my slab and I have my pinch pot, and I need to trace. So I need to lay the pinch pot down onto the slab, and I need to trace around using my needle tool. So the needle tool is one of the many tools you're going to be using today. So you're going to be using a needle tool, a wooden modeling tool, a regular popsicle stick, a modified popsicle stick, so one that has a pointed edge on one side and a flat edge on the other, which you can achieve this by using scissors to cut it this way. Possibly using your elephant ear and your cleaning tool. So cleaning tool has two scoops, one on each side. Okay. So that just came off real nicely. So that's what you end up with. I'm going to put this off to the side, but I am going to be using some of this clay in a little while, so I'm going to put it off to the side. And I am going to now score and slip the clay. So scoring is when you make X marks in the clay, and what that does is it allows the slip to go down into the crevices and create a stronger bond. So anytime you attach one piece of clay to another, you are scoring and slipping. So I do this side, and then I do this side. So you always have to make sure you're doing both sides. So where you're attaching and what you want to attach need to be scored and slipped. But right now I'm just doing the scoring. Okay. I'm just making those X marks using my needle tool. Then I'm going to put some slip on each side. So you don't want to go crazy with the slip, but you don't want to put too little. You don't want to put too much. You want to find just the right amount. It's okay if you use a little more than you mean to, but if you use too little, that's not good. So spreading that around. Then I'm taking some of that excess. I'm just gonna put it back into my slip container. Okay. Next, I'm going to press these together. And I'm going to use my wooden modeling tool. So I'm going to use the rounded edge, so the rounded back edge, to smooth. You can also use your fingers afterwards. But basically, I want these two pieces to become one. So it looks like a turtle shell. It's been a little turtle shell its whole life. Was never two pieces. Put it down, kind of smoothing it a bit. And I can use my elephant ear. So I put my thumb on one side, my forefingers on the other to curve it, and I can smooth. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the smoothing of this because I want to get to the actual making of the whistle, and you should already know how to smooth, but in case you didn't, I was showing you how to hold the tool. So it's nice. Use my finger a little bit more. And again, I'll work on the smoothing a little bit later. So now I have this, like I said, this nice little turtle shell. It looks like it was not really two pieces, now it's just one piece. So now I need to make the mouthpiece for the whistle. The best way to do that is just to take some of that clay that you used to roll out your slab and roll a ball. So I'm just rolling a ball because I'm going to cut this ball into a cube. So you don't want your mouthpiece to be too small. You don't want it to split when you start using these. So you want to make sure it's bigger than the width of this. So I'm going to cut the rounded edges off using my needle tool. And the bottom, I'm not going to have to cut off because it's already getting flat as I'm moving this around and pushing down on the other sides. And lay it on its side. I'm going to cut that last rounded edge off. And I'm going to shape it into a little bit more of a cube. And I feel like it's a good size. So I want to decide which side I want to put it on. So I'm thinking about like what my animal shape is. So I might want it a different thing. But what's important is when you are attaching this piece is that it is lining up directly with the bottom. Okay, so you're not putting it up here thinking that your whistle's going to work. It won't work that way. You need to have it down here lined up with the bottom. So it looks like an igloo, okay? Lines up. So this little doorway to the igloo, you need to make sure that's all lined up. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't do that, it's going to cause issues. So I like the placement here. So again, I need to score and slip this piece and then where I'm attaching it. So again, X marks. And more X marks. And I'm going to slip it. So that slip piece, slipping right there. And I'm going to push them together. So I'm going to use my wooden modeling tool, use that rounded edge again to smooth. Again, I want it to make it look like it's all one piece, not three different pieces. So those two became one piece and then a third came on. Now the goal is to make it look like it was never all in these different pieces. They're all one piece now. Smoothing, and I end up with my igloo, and it's nice. It's all lined up. There's no difference between that. So it's like it's all one piece. All right, the next thing I need to do is I need to grab my modified popsicle stick, so the one with the pointed edge, and I'm going to take the pointed edge and I'm going to put it in the center of the cube. And then I'm going to push down so it goes in, but does not go through the back here. We don't want it to go through the back, but it's in here. And so I know it's going to help support when I need to do other things. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other popsicle stick, my regular popsicle stick, and I'm going to draw a line down the sides. Okay, so I have these lines drawn down, and then I want to draw a line right where my mouthpiece is attached. Okay, so you want that to show exactly where the mouthpiece is attached to your pinch pot. And then you're going to put your popsicle stick right underneath that line, and you're going to draw another line. And that cube right here is what you're going to cut out. So you just kind of erase those lines a bit, and you just focus on this cube in the center right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut the cube of clay out, making sure I don't mess up the mouthpiece, I don't tear the mouthpiece. I'm just trying to get this piece of clay out. Just going around with my needle tool a couple of times so I can get a nice chunk just clean out. I don't have to keep digging in there. And then hopefully you see the popsicle stick. Okay, if you can't, then you need to get the clay out of there. Okay, the next step can be a little bit tricky. So I need to take this popsicle stick out and I need to make sure there's no clay down in there. So I'm going to turn on this light to hopefully so you can see a little bit better, but there is going to be clay there. So I can't see down into my whistle, and that's causing an issue because I need to be able to see down into my whistle. But there's like this ledge of clay right here, so I need to get that out. So I need to scoop it out using my cleaning tool. So you can see some chunks of clay are going to come out. And it's not a ton of clay, but it's enough for me to not be able to see down into my whistle. But now I can see nice and down into my whistle. There might be like a little tiny piece of clay here and there. But also I'm making sure that this stays a square. So I got that clay out. So you don't want to see any clay in the way. You want to be able to see down into your whistle. All right. So that's one tricky thing out of the way. But again, the placement of where the mouthpiece is, it's got to line up here. The square needs to be directly underneath the mouthpiece. All right. So I'm going to put my regular popsicle stick back in, and I'm going to bevel this edge. And what beveling means is that I'm going to kind of push the clay down and forward at an angle. So it's going to create this little ramp. I'm going to push down and forward. And I need to get that clay out of the way because that clay could mess up my whistle from functioning. So I'm going to press down and forward. So I'm beveling that clay. And so I want to show you what that looks like on another piece of clay, just in case you're not clear of what the beveling is. So I'm just going to cut a little slab real quick so that I can show you up close what beveling looks like. So I've gone over it, like I said before, in class, and you may think you got it, but then you might not have. Okay, so here's this. I'm going to go push down and forward at an angle, and it creates that beveled edge. So it's like a little ramp. Again, I can do it on this side, down and forward. So some of that clay is coming out. Okay, so that's what beveling is. So I'm going to take out this piece, check to make sure there's no little spots of clay in the airway before I try it. So I see a little tiny piece of clay right there, just getting it out of the way before I go to try it. And it works. So I am happy with that. But again, the few things that you need to make sure that you are being aware of is the placement of the mouthpiece, the placement of the hole, and actually beveling. Okay, so you're going to make two whistles and you're going to turn them into animals. So I have my sloth and my mouse with the cheese. So hopefully this video is a little bit, shows you a little bit more. So if the other one wasn't very helpful, you can see this one. And if you were in class when I demoed, you can just watch it again in case you forgot some of the steps. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.